Fully healthy, it felt like this was the best defensive performance from the Sixers considering the competition. Knicks are currently ranked 4th in offensive rating, and it turns out VJ has guarded Jalen Brunson the most out of any single player. 13 minutes, and he held him to 4 of 16 from the field in these 2 games, and in the first quarter, you saw just that as well. The thing about him, he's never out of a play. He gets screened here. Jalen Brunson has the 3, passes it up, and B does a good job deterring him from the basket, and all of a sudden, VJ's back into the play. Great job by VJ forcing him baseline to the traffic, and this should have been a turnover. Somehow it gets through. Nice closeout from Barlow. He gets caught in the air. Could have been a foul, but Cat was really baiting it. I respect the officials not calling it. That defense results in 2 free throws. This time around, VJ doesn't really get screened, but he is on the back of Brunson, and this is the perfect example of how to stay out of foul trouble. In this spot, Brunson stops on a dime. Defender bumps him, but VJ, as Brunson's doing that, backs up, puts his hands straight up, no foul in sight. And now Karl-Anthony Towns trying to set a screen on VJ. It's just not going to work. He's sticking on to Brunson. No space created, and now Brunson throws a wild pass out of bounds. Nice screen on this one, but VJ keeps fighting, and Embiid is just in the area long enough for VJ to recover and get a great contest. Shout out Embiid cleaning up the board as well. Look at Quentin Grimes off the basketball being an annoying pest on Jalen Brunson, not allowing him to take the screen, and this just destroys the shot clock. And now Miles McBride has to create, and Tyrese Maxey stays on him. And then Jared McCain closes out and doesn't allow his guy to drive, and it's just an off-balance, terrible three-pointer. Jared McCain with an aggressive switch onto Brunson. Maxey's right there as well to double, get the ball out of Brunson's hands. And then Bona is there to help the helper, and he also eliminates the baseline pass. Now in transition, Cat just thinks he's going to ease into an easy transition 3, his signature, and Paul George says no. Guess what? That leads to a 3. Seems like OG might get a 3 here, but Paul George with a great closeout and shuts off his drive. Turnover. Look at the ball pressure from Bona, and then Grimes sneaks in for the steal. Defense to offense. This lineup was switching great. Okay, VJ gets screened. Bona says, I got you. Mikal wants no part of that. He tries to throw it to the mismatch, but guess what? Jared McCain is there to help. Push that rock and 2 free throws on the other end. Look at the work from Grimes and VJ off the basketball. Switching perfectly. No advantage gain for the Knicks. VJ then helps out Bona, goes for the steal, nice spin move, but Paul George, straight as can be, avoids the foul, forces a miss, offensive rebound, and then Bona as straight as can be. Miles McBride with a very lackadaisical pass, and Grimes says, thank you very much. Look at this possession from VJ. You see McCain kind of lose Kolek, so he's like, yo, switch on to Clarkson. I got you. Amazing ball pressure from Bona. How is Cat supposed to make a pass when his back is turned? Later on, eventually he drives. Paul George is there, but look at VJ. This little scare, fake closeout messes with the rhythm of Mikal Bridges. Sixers turn it over. Seems like an easy fast break layup. Nope, Paul George is hustling. At this point, you can't even see Maxey. He is getting screened, but look at the hustle. Somehow he comes up with the steal and scores on the other end. Quentin Grimes is a menace, forcing Brunson into the traffic, and then he comes up with the block with Paul George and Joel Embiid in the area. Guess what? Now you got a fast break and 2 free throws. This right here is my favorite possession so far. Grimes playing with so much effort to avoid the screen, then he bumps Jalen Brunson. He eventually gets screened, but guess what? Paul George is there to help. Look at Bona. What a job making Cat uncomfy, not giving him any opportunity to shoot a 3. OG is open, but Grimes is moving so quickly, he doesn't want to shoot it. Plus, OG, he doesn't really shoot top of the key 3s. He's strictly a corner 3-point shooter. And as he's driving, he has no interest going up with it because Grimes is there and Embiid is also there as well. Outlet to Jalen Brunson. Paul George just sticks right with him. Now Jordan Clarkson receives a grenade, and the ball pressure from Maxey has him stumbling out of bounds. Onto the second half, VJ taking away the pick and roll. Embiid forces Brunson away from the basket, and then VJ recovers to get a contest. The Knicks get the switch they want. Maxey on Brunson, but look at the aggressiveness. Sticking right with him and poking it loose at the end. Paul George gets screened, but look at VJ and Embiid just, occupying space and passing lanes. Insane pass to OG. How did that get through? But VJ says, get that out of here. And it ends up in OG walking. Jabari Walker refusing to get backed down by Cat, holding his ground, playing physical, might have fouled, but this is the NBA. We played physical basketball. You got Cat crying. Turnover. And now here we see VJ just destroying this possession. Go under, right back with Brunson. Switch on to McBride, take away their screen. Deflect the pass, another turnover. Jared McCain on an island against Tyler Kolek, and he does a great job forcing an out of control, bad miss. And now the Sixers can run in transition, butt naked open three opened up from that defensive stop. VJ gets screened, Embiid says, no problem, I got you. And then notice, Cat is expecting contact and Embiid pulls the chair. Cat loses a bit of concentration, as you can tell, and he smokes the layup. And then, of course, one of the best plays of the game. The Knicks were on a run. This shot could have cut it to 6 points, not even giving them an opportunity. VJ says, get it out of here, and now he dunks it on the other end of the floor. Defense leading to offense so much in this game. Kolek trying to attack Quentin Grimes, that's not gonna work. Look at Paul George avoid this screen, stick on the back, and then somehow get in front of Brunson. No shot available, and now Brunson is just throwing a pass and praying that it gets to a Knick. Turnover. Look at Bona. Oh my goodness, his ball pressure the last couple games is inspiring. You have the Knicks playing at their half-court logo. And then on the basketball, Tyrese Maxey is not allowing McBride to go anywhere. I will say I was disappointed with how they ended the game defensively. I thought they got cocky, started playing lackadaisical, giving up three-pointers, and when you're up by double digits, the last thing you should do is give up three-pointers in the fourth quarter. And as you can tell, in those last 5 minutes, they got 19 points because they finished the game 119 to the Sixers 130. But outside of that last 5 minutes, the Sixers defense was unbelievable against one of the best offenses in the NBA. The Paul George and VJ duo, when they're on the court together, they have a 110.8 defensive rating throughout the season in 324 minutes. That would be good for third in the NBA. I'm very excited to see what the trio of Kelly Oubre, Paul George, and VJ do defensively. And remember, the Sixers started the season terrible defensively, mainly because they weren't healthy. Paul George inserted into the lineup has been a game changer, and I think Joel Embiid, just his presence, you saw in this game, he's definitely declined as a defender, but he's still usually in the right spot, and guys don't want to challenge him consistently, especially role players. It's just good to see fully healthy. I believe the Sixers can be a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense. I can't wait to see what Kelly Oubre, VJ, Paul George, and Quentin Grimes look like as a defensive unit. We've been in the situation the past couple of years where Kelly Oubre had to be the number one option defensively. Now you got VJ at point of attack. You got Paul George off the basketball. It kind of puts Kelly Oubre in a role where he's a complementary defensive player, and that's probably where you're going to get the most out of him on that end. That's all I got. Let me know your thoughts below.